Today we're going to be going over some new Age of Empires mobile leaks because yes, in-game you're going to be able to check these out and I'm going to showcase how. And before we even do, I want a big shout out to my community, right? The big Sneaky Army community. And if you guys want to join it, there is the Discord link in the description down below where people will post these links whenever they get found into our community. So we can obviously check them out and make some really fun videos for you guys so you're up to date and you're not left out in the, the dark cold, right? And we're going to shout out Fiesta here as well as Sabruski because Mr. Sabruski was able to also showcase how to get there, and I was able to confirm it and obviously then make today's video. So before we get in, smash like, comment and subscribe, and a big shout out to everyone that is hitting subscribe because you've brought the 63% number down to 60.5, which is crazy. And you know the goal here is to get 50% of you subscribed. So if you've not hit the button and you keep coming back to the channel and you're enjoying the content, hit the button. Just hit subscribe. It's free and it's the best way for my channel to grow and to get new sponsorships, to grow a team, to provide better content for you guys in the future, right? So with that, let's dive into today's video, which is these brand new signet rings everyone is on the kind of talk about. And we're going to go through our theory craft on what these rings are, because if you want to check them out in game yourself, like we said, all you need to do is go to any of the tutorial screens by any method necessary. So if you go to your formation page, hit the little tutorial button, it'll take you here. If you go to your hero page, click on any of your heroes, click on the tutorial and then more button, it will also bring you to this stage, right? And if you just click on the archer one, you will bring up the Bellevue, Timur, Mehmed march. And you remember me talking about this march quite a while ago, saying I wasn't a super fan of it because it realistically just doesn't function at all. And that's still kind of true unless these signet rings are the game changers, because the thing is, we've got two new signet rings on Bellevue and on Mehmed II. And the thing that's going to honestly make you all a bit of a sigh, I know it's going to be a bit of a bummer, is when you click on them, you can't see what they do. Anytime you click on any of these rings, it's either going to take you to this Radiant Guardian, or, as some people have been reporting in the community posts, as well as in the official Age of Empires mobile posts, is that it'll take you to the Scorching Flame. So if it's taking you to one of the other rings, it's fine. That's what's happening to the majority of people, because what we're under the impression of in 1.71 is that they've just injected the devs these brand new image assets and all these kind of tutorial assets ready for the brand new patch coming in the future, which should have some brand new signet rings in, which myself and many people have been speculating will be coming in the next couple of months, and it seems to be happening. So what are these rings going to be doing is probably the main question that you have to ask yourself, right? And you're probably asking me in the comments, and I'm going to give you my version of it. I'm going to give you what I believe these rings are going to do, and I'm going to give you a little bit of like an example through other rings in the game to kind of justify it. Because the thing is, when you kind of just use your heads a little bit, right, we got to work together here. Bellevue, Timur and Mehmed on paper will work, but not efficiently. And that is because when you think about it, the Timur in this build, when you're running Tempered Steel and Critical Insight, the March really doesn't have enough critical strike chance to honestly take advantage of the Tempered Steel. Let's be real, it really doesn't. So that's why in these builds, the game is recommending running a Spirited Pursuit and Weak Spot Attack combo, which does make sense if you want to just go down raw damage and not worry about things, but that's cool. But when you are trying to maximize your main commander, especially with steroids and all the buffs that you have, it is just better to let Timur, as we found out with Lubu, for example, to just support. Let him give him more critical strike and let him just heal and reduce damage. But this March doesn't do that, right? Mehmed doesn't really give you any critical strike, and neither does Bellevue. The only thing Bellevue is going to be doing is giving you that double attack state for herself, because that is the 75% chance, which is nutty for her in order to do so, right? So with that information, you've got to think maybe these two rings are designed to make this match work. And that's what I am going to go under the impression of, right? And the way I think this ring is going to work, and some people think it's going to work in a troop reduction way. I understand that, but I don't think it is. I don't think this ring is a troop reduction stat like the Tranquil Water or the Lofty Mountain or the Ring of Clover, for example, right? I think this is going to be more like Skyward Knight. And what I mean by that is, if you just go to a swordsman match and bring up Skyward Knight for you guys, right? If you put it on the Charlemagne, this reduces the hero's damage dealt by 15%, but you increase your commander's damage and their commander's signature active skill activation chance. And that is very powerful for infantry players, because that means you get that more consistency and damage on your main commander, aka Ramses in this scenario. It could be Miyamoto or Sun Tzu even in these scenarios, right? There's so many really good heroes that this ring can benefit, and you always equip it to a support that's not dealing damage. And that is the key thing here. And when you look at Mehmed, he fits that on perfection. And when you look at the Skyward Knight, it has this same kind of look to it. You're going to be honest with me? Does it not look the same? So I have this sneaky suspicion this ring, quote me here, I'm happy to be wrong, right? But I reckon this is going to be very similar, and it's going to say reduce the hero's damage by 15%, maybe 20%, whatever that number is. But you're going to increase your activation chance of your secondary strike skills, aka your Bellevue then can have this skill going at 40%. This one can be at 30%, for example, right? Because even if you just argued that this would be a 5% activation buff, or maybe it goes a little bit higher, it's like 7.5. That is a lot of damage increase, especially from just consistency. And if you went down the road of just having Timur as a straight up damage dealer with second strike skills, it could help that too, potentially, depending on how the ring is phrased. So I think that's what this ring is. I actually think this ring is going to be a utility-based ring, which sacrifices the hero's damage in order to gain a benefit. And that's why it's on Mehmed, because he's not a damage dealer. He doesn't lose anything for having this equipped while buffing your main commander, for example, right? Now, this brings us to the bigger question. What the hell is this ring? Because when we look at this ring, the image of it is a sun. It's like a sun, a star, some sort of bright thing. So I have the impression it's an offensive ring straight away. Whenever you look at like the Azure Moon, the Effulgent Sun, you name it, right? All of those have those very, it's in your face, right? Same with this. This could be something called like the Elegant Star, or, the Majestic Star ring. Who knows, right? And what this ring I think could do, and I hope it's not this, but what I think this ring is going to be, only on the premise, you got to remember, I'm only guessing here, because of the way it's in this March lineup. I reckon it's going to work similar to the Ring of the Shark. However, I think it's going to be for critical chance. So what I mean by that is, each time you launch a normal attack in-game, you're going to gain like 0.5% critical chance, and this might stack up to like 20%, maybe 25% critical chance, because that type of a ring is really powerful and really good for double attack heroes. But people like Lubu won't honestly benefit from it, because he doesn't really enter that double attack state enough compared to a Bellevue, compared to a Mulan, compared to a Belisarius and Hannibal, right? All of these marchers have way much uptime in the double attack state compared to the Lubu marchers. So those are the marchers that would actually benefit from a ring like that. And if you don't believe me about a ring working in that regard, if you just jump out of here and just jump into your mall area, because I doubt you guys have it unlocked, because even I don't have this unlocked yet, because it's not been, useful enough in game to unlock. But the Ring of the Shark says when you get this ring, Every time your troop launches a normal attack, and it says 100% activation chance, you reduce the target's recovery effect by 1% up to 50 stacks. So you can see why I think it could be on the lines of something like this, which would be really interesting, having a stackable effect that is honestly built for double attack state champions and can give them that critical chance to allow them to start using heroes that they're not normally allowed to use, as we would say, right? Because if you think about it, Timur and Attila here are always glued to Lubu, and a lot of people, I know it sounds surprising, but a lot of people don't unlock Lubu. They really don't. People know how powerful it is and they get it, but they might be an infantry main, maybe they're an archer main, maybe they're a pikeman main. And the thing is, if you're an archer main, you could be using these two heroes with archers if there was a good critical strike ring that you could be running with that match to sustain the chance of critting that you need to make the damage output worth it, right? So it's very interesting to me when you go into the game and you can see this match now, this lineup, this Bellevue, Timur, and Mehmed, and both Mehmed and Bellevue have these two new rings. So that's what I think these two rings are gonna be. And let me know what you think they're gonna be, because obviously I'm not saying I am right. I'm not gonna say you guys are right or wrong either. I would just love to see a little bit of creativity, just have a little bit of enjoyment, have fun. I don't care about if you're gonna moan, oh, there's new Signet Rings coming, oh my god, I don't care. I just want to have a little bit of fun for once. Have some fun, guys. Chill out, relax, you know, right? So with that, let me know in the comment section down below what you think these two different rings are going to be in Age of Empires Mobile. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you want to give them both a name, and if you want to kind of reference them, just put like the Bell ring, so we know it's Bellevue. Just put Bell ring, and then whatever you want to call it, and then whatever you think it's going to do, then just put the Mehmed ring, so we know, right? We know what ring is going to what, right? So really interesting. I thought you guys would like it. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Keep an eye out, because I will be live streaming either today or tomorrow some really interesting gameplay that I have been looking forward to for the last 6 months. That's how crazy it's been. Even longer, technically, that I've been waiting. But it's finally coming. So with that little teaser, that little hint, smash like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.